Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be part 1 of my tutorial series on how to use Maize Plus. If this is what you're looking for, please stay tuned. Alright folks, welcome. So this is a tutorial on how to use Maize Plus. This is just an introduction video. I will do a whole series on this. A few things I want to note before we get going. There's a lot to this mod or to this series. There's going to be a lot to Maize Plus. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of really cool stuff, honestly, and it's a pretty cool addition to the game. So definitely worthwhile sticking to it and keeping through all these on these tutorials. But having said that, I'm going to get stuff wrong. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to miss stuff. So feel free to let me know down in the comments in a nice way what I missed, what I need to address, anything like that. That way I can make sure I cover it in future videos. So that definitely helps me out if you guys do that. But again, I'm just going to give a quick overview of kind of what we're looking at and what you should expect in this series today. So we are on Chellington Valley, which is where I'm going to try to do, I think, a lot of the tutorials as part of this. What is Maize Plus? Maize Plus is kind of a series of several mods. There's the Maize Plus mod, Forage extension, CCM extension, Horse extension. So those are kind of the 4 aspects of it. You should use it on a map designed for it, such as Chellington Valley. This is, again, all for PC players only. None of this is going to be for consoles, so all PC only, unfortunately. What are some of the features of Maize Plus? Well, it does adjust the economy, so it's modified to be a little bit more realistic. It is compatible as well, just so you know, with manure system, with seasons, and with the add-on straw harvest. So it's compatible with all those different mods as well, which is really nice. It adds a lot of new crop types, which we're going to take a look at here in just a second. It adds new equipment. We'll go over all the equipment and what it does later, but just an example of that. If we go under beet technology here, there's stuff for onions and carrots under there. So just stuff like that. We'll go over all that in a little bit. There is also going to be, as far as like doing grass work, there's now 4 total drying stages. So essentially you'd have to ted it 3 times to get it to be hay for you, if that's what you want to do. So just something to be aware of that. There's green mowing, which means you can kind of you can mow the crops in green states, which we'll go again into all this in detail later on in future videos. But I'm just going to give you an overview of some of the features of it. There's a lot of changes to silage and baling. It adds a lot of different aspects to it, to be completely honest. So it adds a lot to that. And there's a lot of stuff that you couldn't normally bale before, and there's a lot of different types of silage and all that sort of good stuff, which we'll go into that a little bit here in this video, but then more detail in future videos. In addition to that, there is crop destruction 2.0, which means there's actually crop destruction for grass, where it'll revert it back 1 growth state. There's crop destruction on like a field stubble, stuff like that. It's very cool. The crop destruction 2.0 is awesome, which again, we'll demonstrate that later on. There's a reworked animal feed system. So what that means is there's different stuff going on. Now on this map, I have all the extensions installed. So that's what we're taking a look at. We're just going to look at them all as a whole. We're not going to divide them out because they all kind of work together to accomplish something. So if I go into the menu here and go to the animal pens, I have 1 cow, 1 chicken, 1 sheep, 1 pig, 1 horse. So for the cows, if you look at it, this is going to be a little bit different down here. You see there's different feed categories. So if we go down to the bottom, and I'll go into some of these fill types here in a bit, it says maize silage or grass fermented, or WCS, which is whole crop silage fermented for 25% effectiveness. Then there's hay or dry clover, which is clover hay, or dry alfalfa, which is alfalfa hay, and the effectiveness is 25%. Now then down here, there's clover fermented, alfalfa fermented, which is clover silage and alfalfa silage. Then down here there's wet grass windrow, which is just grass. Then there's grass, and then there's clover windrow, which is just fresh clover, so clover that's not been turned into hay. Then there's fresh maize down here as well. So we'll go into some of these in a little bit more detail. Now chickens aren't terribly affected. Wheat 50%, sugar beet or carrot is effectiveness 50%, soybean, corn, or barley is effectiveness 40%. Now again, we'll go into details on what all those ratios mean later on, because as you can see here with the chickens, that's not adding up to 100%, add up to 140%. Now if we go to sheep, sheep have 4 categories as well. We have basically grass silage, clover silage, or in the next category we have hay, alfalfa hay, clover hay, or we have down here the bottom one, we have wet grass, grass, and wet clover and fresh maize. Then we also have sugar beet and carrot at the very bottom. Pigs changed around as well. So we have wet grass, grass, wet clover, fresh maize, clover fermented, so clover silage, corn, wheat, barley, and CCM, which we're going to CCM as well later on. That's corn cob mix is what that stands for. Down here we have soybeans, canola, sunflower, so that's pretty standard there. Now at the bottom here we have potatoes, sugar beets, and carrots. So a few things are changing up a little bit in there, which is going to make it a little bit more interesting. Now if you look here at sheep, we have manure on sheep as well, so it's going to change it up a little bit. And they also require straw now, so things are going to change it up a little bit. Some of this is specific to this map, but we'll go into some of the stuff as well that's specific to Maize Plus. So if we go down to horses, again, it's going to be changed around a little bit. Oats, effectiveness 15%. Then we have wet grass, grass, horse grass, which horse grass is another fill type we have now. We have hay, alfalfa hay, and horse grass, windrow, dry horse grass, so or horse hay, basically. Then we have carrots down here at the very bottom. So a few things are changed up with animals, which adds a lot of different realism to it. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the new crop types. All right, so they added a lot of new crop types here, just some of the basic ones. I'm sure I'll miss a couple on here. I just want to give you kind of an idea of some of the things you're going to have. So triticale, rye, we also have spelt, miscanthus, we have carrots, we have onions. So these are kind of your grain style crops. These are more root crops for you. Then if we come over here, we're starting to get into a little bit more detail here, or a little bit more complicated stuff. So field grass here, field grass can be harvested with a harvester, just like grains, and you get kind of this these seeds here. And then you can also, the windrow is basically grass, which you can bale up after. But again, we'll go into detail on how to do each of these crop types in the future. Now, if we go over here, here's where we start to get into some of the grasses, hays, silages, and stuff like that. And I'm sure I'm missing some out here. But first off here, we have clover. So we have clover hay, and then we have clover silage. And if we go over here, the next thing we have up is whole crop. So this is whole crop silage fresh. So it's WCS fresh. This is after it's been fermented. So whole crop silage itself right here. And then next up, we have alfalfa. So we have alfalfa, which I love the textures on some of this stuff here. So we have alfalfa, alfalfa hay, and alfalfa silage. And if they come over here to this next row, we are looking at horse grass, horse hay, and then horse silage. So there you go. So you have all these different aspects and stuff that you can put into bunker silos. And again, another thing to note too, bunker silos you can put if it has less than 4,000 liters in it. Let's say you have you're trying to ferment alfalfa, so you're putting alfalfa in there, and you have 3,999 liters of alfalfa in there, but you decide, oh, well, actually, I want to do horse grass. If you put horse grass, dump it on top of there, it'll all convert over to the horse grass, but only if you're under 4,000 liters. So just something to just keep note of. Now down here we have CCM, which is one specific mod involved in this. So we have CCM flour here, I believe, and then the CCM itself right here, if I remember correctly with how I put it out. And then down here at the very end, we have a couple other fill types down here. So we have, oh gosh, if I can remember, yeah, fresh maize here, so corn that's chopped, and then we have fresh maize silage right here. So a couple different added silage types there. So there is a lot, as you can see, there is a ton added in. That's why I'm going to miss stuff. I'm going to try to do my best to get it all out to you guys as accurate as possible. But definitely, if you guys are experts on Maize Plus, definitely leave me some comments down below. That'll help me out a ton. But essentially, yeah, we're going to go into how to do every single specific crop type in here and how to do animals and everything like that. The next video, we're going to specifically go over the grain style crops, and then after that we'll go over the root crops, and then we'll continue into the grasses and the silages. So we're going to go into everything you can do with them and everything like that. So just stay tuned to that. But yeah, that is part 1 of my Maize Plus tutorial. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching.